Hi everyone, this is Jay Johnson with dailytexture.com. This morning I am doing this video to introduce the Stark Winter Collection, which is a new collection I'm releasing today, January 9th. And this collection is quite fun. You can do a lot with it, even more than I normally do with it. Just because each texture included in the collection has so much energy, it's a mix of a lot of different mediums when I created this. So there is a lot of movement going on in these. They're great to use with your high energy subjects. I'm going to take you on a little tour of what's in the collection. So let's look at this here. Alright, there are 10 textures in the collection. You can see the exciting movement here, the splashes. I've mixed some watercolor in with these. So these are quite interesting to use. Great for your high energy subjects, or even just to add a little interest by layering these on top and setting the different layer modes to other pieces that use other textures. But we have some really rich, dark winter colors that you would see when it's really dark and cloudy and that snow's getting ready to come. And even nighttime shots, winter shots would work well with these textures. So there's 10 of them in here. Lots of movement, splashes, fun things to integrate with your other work or use as a background on their own. They could even work, like this one could even work for a sea or ocean theme because of the blues in it. It's wintry, but it's also, if you're under the sea, if you have fish pictures, this one may work with that, which I don't have, but it's just a mix of a lot of different things. And here's an example of a piece I did a little while back when I created the collection of one of our peacocks at our local safari park that was screaming, and I decided that's pretty high energy, so I blended the peacock with this background and added the snow overlays, which also come with this collection. These are the overlays. These are the same overlays that are in the Winter 1 collection. I thought they would work well with this if you wanted to add snow. There are 4 of them. You just put these on top of your image. I use screen mode, and so I put it on top and set the layer mode to screen, and it makes the black disappear and the snow appear. So that's just a quick tour of the collection. And now I'm going to show you an image I've been working on this morning. Let me remove this. I got this image the other day. We had our first snow here, and my birds were wild. I mean, just wild. They love to come into the feeders when there's snow on the ground because they can't find a food source because it's all covered up. So I make sure to feed them abundantly during this time. And I have an outdoor bird studio where I photograph these little guys and girls. And I was photographing this little cardinal. I got a lot of great shots of her. And she just got ready to take off. And I thought, the way she's taking off, the way her wings are, this is pretty high energy. So this was the one I decided to work with. And I'm going to pair her with this texture from the collection, which is more of a black and white. And I just thought it would look nice with her. So what I have done, let me turn this on, is this is her layer, her original layer. I have masked away all of her background, leaving just a little bit of the fence and the snow that she is standing on. And to blend her in with the white area, blend her snow in with this white area of this texture, which is right through here. So I've already done the masking, and after masking her out, I decided to add some snow layers. So I like to put snow layers under the subject and on top of the subject sometimes, because sometimes on top of the subject is too much. So I put 2 snow layers under her, above the texture, but under her, which gave it a nice little snowy background, toned down the black just a little bit, and Then I put one layer on top, and then I masked away, as you can see here. I masked some of that snow off of her belly area because you've got to think about where the snow is going to be falling. And it's going to be hitting her on top of her beak. And if you've got like bright snowflakes down here under her beak, that may not make sense. So I masked those away and masked the belly ones away and let it just be on top of her where it would naturally hit. So that's before, and that's after adding that. And I was trying to think what I wanted to do from here. And one thing that's bothering me and is that she's a little warm in tone, and of course the background is black and white, so it's a little cooler in tone. But I'm going to show you how I would handle this and actually change the color tone of the background. Now, you can do this a lot of ways. You could set a plain color layer on top, like browns or whatever, but since I have the suite of Topaz products, one thing that's under Topaz Adjust is the toned collection. And when you're on the tone collection, you can go through these presets and get different tones to any texture. Well, they have a brown one, which this is the original black and white. Now, after the brown tone applied to it, it gives a little more browns, but it's still real rich and dark. Now you have colored sepia, which is more tans. And then you have another color sepia, which is darker tans. And there's just several different ones in this toned collection you could choose that might work better for your image than the original texture color. In this case, I like the brown one because it just takes away the black just a little bit. So, and if you don't like it full strength like this, you can click on Finishing Touches, Transparency, and you can adjust the transparency of it. So if you have the transparency all the way over here, it's showing none of the adjustment. But as you move it, you can see it changes it. As you move that transparency to the left. Now in this case, I do like the full adjustment, but if I didn't want it that brown, I could maybe set it in the middle, which would tone down the black just a little bit. But I like it pretty brown in this case, just because her colors are so warm. The alternative is I could change her colors and make her cooler, but I like her colors the way they are, so I'm going to click OK and accept this color tone change on that texture layer. Now see, that just gave it more of the brown tones, which tie in better with her warm coloring. And now I can decide if I want to do any more masking on her layer. I may mask just a little bit more of her wings right here and fade them into the background just a little bit. I don't want to lose them. I want it to be visible that they're still there. And I don't know, I may bring back some of the fence a little more. And some of this snow. I don't know if that's a little too much there, so I think I need to bring mask back over that. That's not as important as what's right here. So there we go. Now I have a fun image of her. And I'm going to merge all of these together. But it totally changed the look from the original photo. And I'll pull back the original photo so you can see. That's the original photo. And now she's turned into some fun winter art that's a little different than the photo. A little bit more artistic, much more energetic because of the texture in the background. But I do want to do some more adjustments to her. I want to pump up her clarity a little bit, so I'm going to duplicate the merged layer and go to Topaz Clarity, which will just sharpen her up a little bit. I'm going to click Fur and Feathers. And of course that pumps up the clarity of the whole thing, which I may like. We'll just have to see. I think I like it better just on her. I don't want the background clarity pumped up as much as I do her clarity. Yeah, I like the background a little softer, but I want her details pumped up. So I've done a clarity adjustment to the whole thing. I'm going to invert the mask, and I'm just going to brush back the clarity adjustment. Just not on this wing, but on a little bit of this wing right here that's toward the front, and her face, and her feathers right here, and her little foot. The stuff that's really toward the front. Her other wing's behind her, so it'd be alright to leave that a little softer. So now her clarity is boosted. You can see my little mask here. So that's before, and that's after. It just makes her stand out even more. So now I'm going to merge these. And now I can decide if I want to do anything else to her. I like Topaz Lens Effects because it's got these great lighting choices under reflector. You can apply a gold or a silver reflector anywhere you want. The gold is a little too much for this image, but the silver on top will brighten up this top, which would make sense because the light would be coming down from the top onto her. So that's before, and that's after. That just brightens it up a little bit. So I think I'm going to click OK and accept the silver top adjustment under the reflector choice. And that just gives a little more light across the top. Now I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to merge everything again. Okay, and by the way, you can rename these. You can click right here in the box and call it final image or whatever, just so you don't lose your place. Now I wanted to show you how you could add one of these to another image. So I'm going to pick, let's take the blue one. I'm going to open the blue one, and then I'm going to go find another image, one of my files I've done recently. Of course, I don't have any ocean images. I have this eagle image I've done. Let's say I wanted to add some more texture to this, and I wanted to add some more interest. You can take this texture here, which is Stark Winter 9, and you can put it on top of a finished piece of art if you want to add more interest to it, and change the layer mode and decide if any of them look right. I'll just go through all of them and see if anything looks interesting. Soft light is one of my favorites, so that's before and that's after. If I wanted to add more interest to this image, I could do that. You can also adjust the opacity of it, and you can also mask away parts of it that you don't want. So let's say that I like what this texture on top has done right here, but I don't like this up here. I can simply go to my masking tab on that layer, and I can tap on it, get some of this away, take it off the bird, and then maybe lower the flow, which would lower the opacity, and take some of it off here. I like that there, so bring that back. But I don't like that splash right there. So now, this was the original eagle image, but I wanted to add more interest across the bottom. I could use this texture with masking away at the top, on the top part of it, like so, and just leaving it along the bottom. It adds more interest here along the bottom. It gives the whole picture more energy. This one looks like the eagle's just coasting across the sky. This one looks like it's just a little more exciting with these brush strokes and splashes and things. So that's another fun thing you can do with these textures. Because they're so energetic, you can actually use them to pump up previous art that you may have made. And original photos too. You can do the same thing. Put them on top of your photo and just set the layer mode to what you want, and you can adjust the opacity like so. If I didn't like it full strength dark, I could pull it down in the middle. So that's before and that's after. I kind of like it on the darker side in this case. So that's another thing you can do with these that makes them pretty versatile. You can actually integrate them with pieces you've already done to create a little bit more energy and more excitement. Anyway, that's a short introduction to this collection of 10 textures and 4 snow overlays. I hope you like the collection and will have fun using it and mixing it with some of your other images. Thanks for watching and have a great day.